see that? That was
Hello, and welcome to an episode of Drinking the Kool-Aid. This is a comedy podcast dedicated to the mysterious. My name is Cassidy.
My name's Amanda.
And we have Sassy Patrick Starr today.
That's right.
Do you see it? Do you see the meme?
I'm the meme, if you can't tell.
And I'm supposed to be an elf, but I look more like emo Katniss Everdeen.
It's like Katniss Everdeen meets elf meets
medieval Zelda.
Ooh, you're giving Zelda.
Yeah.
I like it. Either way, it's hot. You know what I mean?
So it's figuratively and literally. It's very warm. All elf costumes are long sleeved for some reason. So this is what I'm dealing with.
Well, maybe I should be an elf.
Why?
Just always wear long sleeves.
They're really into their cloaks. They're really into their hoods. Listen, I would love to bring back like this look, like the hood.
Yeah.
Cloak look would be a big fan. Like I would wear this dress again, I feel like.
Well, you should.
Maybe I will. We don't know. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
Literally anything could happen.
Literally. My face is so pink. I don't know what's
pink.
happening.
Yeah, aggressively pink.
But hello, everyone, besties and booze.
Hello, we're getting closer and closer to Halloween.
Yes, we are.
Ain't that fun?
So Ain't no thing but a chicken wang.
We went to Queen Mary's Dark Harbor, and that was really, really fun.
We had, I think it's safe to say that we had the most fun out of every single person that attended the event that night.
Absolutely. We absolutely did.
We walked in. We immediately bought $35 fish bowls.
Oh, they were huge.
We immediately chugged them.
Yes, because we needed to go. There were no lines because we were the first people there, and it was a Thursday, which like 10 out of 10 recommend.
Yes.
Going on a Thursday and not waiting in lines.
Yes, absolutely. Chugged the fish bowls. Literally, Cassidy, I said, chug, 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 as she chugged hers.
It's true. That did happen.
And then we were all nice and toasty. I peed my pants in the haunted mazes.
It's true.
And then we got a dance party going on the dance floor.
We literally are the ones who started that dance party.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we had the most fun.
So I wonder if anybody else even danced. Like, if people went on days that we weren't there, I wonder if the dance party even happened.
Maybe they were like, remember those people from last night? We got to get this party bumping.
So it was me, Amanda, Kate, our friend Liz and her husband Kyle, my boyfriend Andrew, and we actually ran into some listeners there too. It was so good to see you guys again. And we were just like getting it. We were getting it. We were dropping it low.
We were, as the kids say, lit.
I was so sore the next day. My feet, the bottom of my feet were so sore because I was just hopping so much because I'm not a very good dancer. I'm not very coordinated. So like really my only move is just like the arm in the air and a little bit of jumping. That's about all I can process.
I don't think any of us are very good dancers. So
no, frankly, really not very good.
But you know what? We had a great time. It doesn't matter.
Oh, I don't care. That's not what dancing's about for me.
Exactly.
I'm not a professional dancer. I'm going out there to jump up and down and have fun and get so sweaty. My hair was so wet. Yeah,
we were so wet. I was so sore that it was those moments where you can't get up off the toilet the next day because your glutes are so sore.
I wasn't that sore, but bottom of my feet were really sore.
Oh, I was like sore. Yeah.
Andrew's like still sore. He woke up this morning like, how am I still sore?
My Apple Watch was like, are you working out? Are you aggressively working out right now?
The next day, I like in the morning, I put my Apple Watch on and I was like, how did I already like almost achieve my workout goal for today? And then I was like, oh yeah, because we were dancing until 12:30 and then we walked home, which was like another 30 minutes.
Walked really far home.
Amanda cosplayed being me and walked places for once. Yeah,
I did. That was one of my Halloween costumes.
Just pretending
to be you, walking everywhere.
Then on Saturday, we went to the Halloween Hootenanny, which was also a great time. Oh my
gosh, yeah. We did so many things.
I know. And then tomorrow I'm going to a movie premiere.
What movie?
It's one of Liz's friends' brothers produced or directed or something.
Oh, I think you did mention this.
Yeah, I told you about it. It's like a Hulu movie, scary movie that's premiering.
Ooh.
And the premiere's in LA. And so she asked me if I wanted to go with, and I was like,
hell yeah. You gotta document that for me.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
And then next week you can talk about it because you would have seen it.
I would have actually seen it, yeah.
So there you go. So stay tuned, kids.
Yeah, I can't remember if he directed it or wrote it or produced it. He was involved in it somehow, and then Hulu bought it to distribute it.
That is so cool.
For Halloween.
That's gonna be so
It's
fun.
like about a pumpkin that comes to life at a pumpkin patch.
Yes.
It's like, it seems like it's kind of like 80s slasher, like cheesy, which is like right up my alley of movie, but we'll see.
I think you sent me the trailer.
I think I did, yeah.
And it looked really cool.
I don't know how I've lost all trace of it. Like, I'm literally going tomorrow. I don't even know where I'm going, to be honest. Somewhere in LA.
You know what? What do they say? I don't know where I'm going, but I'm on my way.
See, this is the best thing about being, like, I can't drive. So it's either something that's walking distance, or I don't have to worry where we're going.
Yeah, you just get in the car and you say, okay.
Yeah, somebody else picks me up and I go, let's go.
That's great.
Okay, let's go.
And that's all, folks.
And that's all. Oh my gosh.
That was my Patrick. Did you like it?
That was your Patrick?
Oh, you didn't hear it?
You should have worked on that.
Okay.
No, I
never
heard
mind,
it.
Never mind. Never mind. I'm going to try again later.
You gotta work on that impression a little bit before you start just pulling things out and expecting me to know what's happening.
Never mind, everybody.
You gotta learn the classic, like, it's Patrick.
SpongeBob.
But that was pretty good.
That's good.
That was
right?
better.
Okay.
Yeah, that was way better.
All right.
Good work. See, you just
Ooh,
needed,
I had to recover.
you need a little fine. Yeah, you gotta. Have you seen that cat on TikTok that somebody straps a GoPro to, and it just like goes out and fights other cats?
No.
It's the best.
But I would like to.
It is the best page. I don't know. I think they're somewhere in Asia based on the amount of mopeds that I see involved, but I can't be sure. But this cat, it goes out and it has fucking smoke with everybody. Like, the second it sees another cat, it goes up and it's like, wah, 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 wah. And then the other cats always run away, and then it just chases them, and you see it like running around in the streets, and it's just breathing like real slow cat though. He never catches them when he's
slow.
Once the other cat, he's a bruiser, you know?
Okay.
I mean, he's fast, he's still a cat.
Right.
But he can never seem to catch the other cats.
Well, those other ones are quick with it.
Yeah, because you can be one of two things. You either know how to fight or you're fast.
I was going to say, you can either fight or you can run.
Yeah. If you can do both, I don't even know what to tell you.
What happens if you can do neither?
You hope that you have a friend who's slower than you.
Or can fight.
Or can fight. There you go.
There you go. All right. I think I can keep one of those by my side at all times.
I think I know. You're like, I know a couple slows, I know a couple fighters.
Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe in you.
I like, my favorite cat on TikTok, since we're talking about cats, is the Merv. Have you seen that cat?
Oh, the one who kind of talks like a human. Are they like doing something to manipulate those videos?
I don't
They
think
have
so.
to.
So this guy, he's like, Merv. That's how he talks to his cat. And he's like, Merv. And then the cat goes, hello.
Yeah, like, that can't be real.
And then the cat, their gardener or whatever is named Charles. And the cat literally goes, Charles.
Yeah, it has to be like a voiceover or something.
I hope not. Because I
There's
really
no
believe
way.
that for this whole time.
I am skeptical of that.
You're skeptical of the cat.
I'm skeptical of Merv the cat. There, I said it.
Wow.
I don't mean to be controversial today here on Drinking the Kool-Aid Ink, but there, I said it.
Wow.
I'm skeptical of that cat.
Wow, now I'm worried about my story. You might be controversial here.
You know I love to be controversial.
You do. That's so true.
I love it. Speaking of controversial,
Oh, boy.
did you hear about, there was a new report that came out that there was some parts of the government that were illegally retrieving unknown aerial objects and trying to what do you call it? Not reproduce. Reverse engineer.
Yes.
Yeah, this like just came out like a couple days ago.
Because one of the girls who was on most of the interviews talking about it is a former Disney Channel star,
Oh, really?
Bridget Medler. She's
Yeah.
like a scientist now or something.
Oh, cool. Good
And
for you.
yeah.
Honestly, you're probably the most normal ex-Disney star.
No, it's like really cool. And she was in a lot of those interviews talking about it.
Tight. Cool.
Yeah.
What show was she on?
Good Luck, Charlie.
Oh,
I'd never
even
seen
heard
it,
of that.
but
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I watched this whole. There's this guy that I watch sometimes on YouTube, and he like broke it down. It was like seriously like a 20-minute long video, which like it was really pressing me for my attention span.
and you did it.
But I did it. Luckily, I was in the middle of doing my hair. As you might notice, it's blonde again and not
is.
purple. Things were happening. Okay. And so I watched it while I was doing my hair, and it was really good. And he broke it down like all about how even if this agency or like whatever, this task force, it was called it was such a funny name. It was like something like Stellar Conception or something. I'm going to look it up because it was a really funny name. But he was like, this project, whatever, even if they didn't find anything and it's not about aliens, the fact that it was done without congressional authorization means that like something shady and illegal is going on regardless. Immaculate
Conception.
It's Constellation, Project Immaculate Constellation, a UAP program named in new report. There was a whistleblower who leaked it, who was either a retired, because obviously they don't want to give away who the whistleblower is either a retired, like high up government agent or is currently still a high up in the.
I love a whistleblower. I respect them. I would like to be one day.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
And like honestly, what is a whistleblower if not a gossip?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's what, like
you
at
get
its core,
information.
it's gossip that like helps the world.
Well, you get information. You get secret information that people are like, this is a secret. You can't tell anybody.
Can't tell anybody.
And then what do? They tell everybody.
And you're like, actually, this is really scary and weird that you guys are doing this. I'm going to tell somebody.
Right. Like I'm technically a whistleblower just with stuff that doesn't matter.
Oh, you're blowing the whistle.
I'm always blowing the whistle.
You guys wouldn't understand the things that I know about people who couldn't pick out of a lineup
the
to save
things
my
that
life.
I just told her 10 minutes before we started.
Couldn't even tell you the names of the people involved, but I know every detail of their love life.
You do. You absolutely do. And I have no regrets.
What am I going to do with this information?
Nothing.
That's the best thing about gossiping with someone who doesn't really know who the people are. Like I have like a vague understanding that these people exist in real life. I've never seen them, never even seen pictures of them. And guess what? She got to get it all off her chest, and I got to hear an interesting story, and then we both get to move on, and there's no consequences.
Wow, I love that.
If there's one thing I love is when there are no consequences.
That's tight. Also, to kind of like piggyback off of that, did you see all the videos that were coming out over the last couple of days of some weird object and all these people were seeing it in North Carolina?
Yes, North Carolina and Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of, and they look the same. Like every single video looks like the same lights, and they're like kind of like disappearing and coming in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very spooky.
Very spooky.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
About aliens?
About the lights, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're aliens.
Oh, okay, there you go.
In the comments, though, someone said that they were like, oh, yeah, some guy, I can't remember his name, just said the aliens were coming soon.
You know what? Maybe they see what we're doing to our planet and to the Middle East and to, basically anyone that our imperial foot can step on the neck of. They see what we're doing.
And they're like, no.
And they're like, we gotta fucking stop that.
They're like, we've had enough.
I gotta say, that is bad news bears for America.
If they come down?
I mean, who are they gonna be mad at, man?
I mean, definitely not us.
Well, not us personally.
Like you and me. Maybe everybody else. I think they'll leave us.
If we wear these costumes, one of us is bound to kind of look like an alien.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like what are the aliens that like look human like?
Oh, those like weird Aryan ones
you're those.
White supremacists are obsessed with.
Yeah, that's you.
Listen, the hair is not doing me any favors with that.
And then I'm like,
you could be any sort of mystery creature.
I'm just a whole nother race of.
Yeah.
I'm just a starfish.
You could be
lives in the sea.
You could be any sort of creature.
Yeah. You never know.
Under the sea. Under the sea. Wrong.
Yeah, I was going to say, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants. That's all I know.
Yes. And you live under a rock.
I do. That is true. I forgot about that part.
Yeah. Good things going on. I need to be vertical for like a good it's up to like 86 hours.
I know, that's the thing. Like you did so many things and you're still continuing to do so many things.
So after tomorrow, I don't have anything to do, like no events to do until we go to Halloween Horror Nights with Stephen Ray Morris.
That's good. I think you need to take that week.
Yes, I think I do too. I think it's good.
Yeah, I think it'll be good for your soul.
Yeah.
And then that way, when we go to Halloween Horror Nights, which will be exactly a week from then.
Yeah, a week from the airing of this episode.
Yes, you will be refreshed and ready to party.
Oh, everyone make sure you go check out our Instagram. We've been really into going live lately.
Cassidy has been.
We thank you for everyone who was on our live at the Halloween Hoot Nanny on Saturday with my live episode of Spilling the Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Where we gossiped about Molly Rudder, who is the newest insane wannabe influencer on TikTok who immediately got herself canceled. In my opinion.
Also, that video will be on our Patreon within the next couple of days.
Yes, Amanda's figuring out how to. Did you figure out how to download it? Okay,
yeah.
okay. We were having issues, but we were also like a few tiny little beers deep.
A few.
It's none of their business.
A handful, 2 handfuls.
Oh my gosh, we had that really good lumpia, and then we had really good chicken wings too.
Ooh, those were really good chicken wings.
Those
actually.
wings
I was
were
surprised.
really good. They actually just opened a new spot. It's this place called Schlapp Mulan. If you look them up on Instagram, you'll be able to see it.
So good.
And their wings are so good, so big, so juicy. The flavorings are amazing. Like 10 out of 10. And then we had
10.
Amanda had her first lumpia.
It was delicious.
Which I grew up eating lumpia. One of my friend's grandmas used to make it every time we would have sleepovers at her house. And that was like her love language. It was like, oh, the kids are coming over. I'm going to make like a huge tray of lumpia. And it was always so hot and fresh and crunchy and delicious.
Well, they're like, what kind of food is it?
Lumpia?
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple different. Filipino
okay.
was the one that we went to.
Yeah. It was because it was kind of giving like taquito, sort of like the roll, like an egg roll type of thing.
I wouldn't go taquito.
Well, because they were thinner than an egg roll.
Kind of like a spring roll.
Okay.
Like a crunchy spring roll.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, but they're thinner and it's usually just meat. Sometimes people put like the vermicelli. I don't know how to say that word. I've only ever read it. I'm realizing
noodles?
right now. Those like clear noodles in there. Sometimes those will be in there.
I like that.
But like the classic ones we had were the classic pork and beef and then chicken adobo.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Really good.
Delicious.
Yeah. Delish.
And we needed it because
I love food.
We were drinking a lot.
I love food.
Oh, they know how much we love food.
Oh, we ran into listeners there too.
Oh, we did.
Thanks, guys. It was awesome to see you.
Dawn and Dawn's boyfriend, who I'm so sorry I forgot your name.
You're a sweetheart, Dawn's
but we
boyfriend.
love you.
And Jake.
Yes.
Who we read one of Jake's stories
that was so
not
fun.
long ago. I know, it's so fun. I love, it's always good. We also ran into like just a bunch of people that we knew, or that I knew at
I was
least.
going to say, Cassidy is that person that just knows everybody. So if you're walking and somehow you're like, why am I alone? And you turn around and there's a group of people around her and she knows everybody.
Oh my God. I started running recently. I don't know why. I don't want to get into it. Okay. I'm very mentally ill. And I need you guys to know, first of all, I have not actually ran in years, probably. I used to run quite a bit, like when I was doing boxing and stuff, but that was a long time ago. That was like pre-pandemic. Mm-hmm. So it's been a while since I ran. Okay. My form is not good. The girls have only gotten bigger.
Yeah,
and trying to tie them down for a run is not pleasant. It's not fun.
That is definitely something I can't imagine.
I caught the smallest glimpse of myself, like running. I was running along alongside of a building, and like just looked over. It was all glass, so it was just like purely my reflection. And I have never been more shook to my core at what the shape of my body was doing at that moment. It was somehow both very stiff and also hunched and arched. And then immediately, of course, I run into like 3 people I know. So sweaty, so hunched and arched and tense.
See, I feel like running into people when you're working out is like cool. Because when I run into people working out, I'm like, dang, I wish I was doing that. Good for you.
Oh, see, I feel like there's no way they didn't walk away and go, I didn't know human skin could become that color. I am very Irish, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I look like Amanda right now. I turn pink, and I'm pink the rest of the day. That's the worst part.
Yeah, if you look like the way I look right now, that would be
just less fabulous.
I was going to say.
Because my lips aren't lined. My fucking nails aren't done.
Because this is pretty fabulous.
I look like this if you accidentally ran it through like a wash cycle because you left it in your pocket.
Yeah, like it needs to be a little like faded pink.
A little more fucked up. But yeah, I have been running and I've gotten faster.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have not. Like, no matter how many times I run, I feel like it just does not. I don't know. I mean, I get faster, but I still can't run for like a really long period of time without stopping.
Yeah. Well, they say that that's good if you're just doing it. Like if you're not running for like a race, like you're just running for like health reasons or like to, you know, work out. They say it's good to like to run and then let your heart rate go down a little bit and then run again and then let your heart rate go down a little bit because it like gets your heart. It's something good for your heart. I don't know.
I'm a big fan of walk plus runs.
Yes.
A little bit of walking, a little bit of running.
That's what I do. I usually like I can get like half a mile in and then I'm like, okay, I need to walk for a block and then I'll run. And then I'll be like, okay, and then I'll be like looking, I'll like give myself some weird milestone. Like, okay, when I get to 0.9 miles, I'm going to walk again for a little bit. And then, you know, whatever. Yeah. And so it's like, yeah, I could probably, if I actually, like, if I was being chased.
Oh.
I could probably run like an 8-minute mile.
Yeah.
If I was being chased.
Right.
But like, I'm going to stick with my 11s.
Would it be fun if like if we had a business where people need motivation to work out, so we dressed up like serial killers,
but then we would have to chase them, and I don't have the longevity for that.
No, we'd have to get good at running. That's like the problem.
Could we hire real runners, and they'll basically be like our personal trainers?
Maybe
we could do that.
Yeah, but then we have to pay them.
Well, this business is going to be booming. Clearly,
well, yeah, of course. Like we're going to be rich as fuck.
But there's already like apps that are like that. There's like a zombie run app where like you like have to run from zombies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like you actually are running in real life.
Well, where's the zombies?
Well, like it's like virtual. It's like a video game basically.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I want real life.
I feel like the cops would shoot you.
Well, yeah, we'd have
to be on a closed course.
Yeah, I'm thinking like if we marked off a park, right? And I could tell the police like, "Hey, don't worry, I'm not a real serial killer. I'm just dressed like one."
I feel like this has to already exist.
No. I just created it right now.
And she already is trademarking it as we speak.
I literally trademarked it already, and you guys don't even know.
You don't even know
I
about
trademarked it before I came up with it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how good.
She's a real thinker.
That's how good I am.
You know what? I understand why they call her the Einstein of our generation now.
They really do. I bet you guys didn't know that.
You probably didn't because you're not smart like her.
Exactly. Literally, though.
I'm having issues with my... Here we go. Sorry. Hoods are complicated.
Turns out.
Jeez Louise. What's this thing on my... I'm wearing like a crown thing. It's very heavy. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Am I right, kids?
Exactly.
As they say.
You're getting it now.
Know who else I kind of look like? That guy from The Witcher.
Yes, kind of. You really are. Like, you could be so many different things.
My hair is so very white right now.
I also like this corset.
Thank you. It all came together. It was like all, and there's more of the accoutrement.
Yeah.
But it was hot. I knew it was going to be hot. So
like
I didn't put on, there was another whole thing to do.
Yeah, you could use, this is so versatile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know the corset, I was like, oh, I might be able to use this for our last costume.
Ah, yes. Yes, you could.
We have a little couple's costume for our last costume. I'm really excited about it.
And I won't be pink.
We don't know that.
Oh, that's
anything
true.
could happen.
Anything could happen, guys. I think that's our motto now.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
It is drinking the Kool-Aid. Anything could happen.
Exactly.
We don't know. We don't even know.
A podcast dedicated to the mysterious, out. Anything could happen, in.
We are the mysterious.
That is so real. Yeah.
Speaking of mysterious people.
Yes, I
we'd
love
like
them.
to welcome some of our new patrons.
Literally my favorite thing to do.
All right, let's say hi to some of our new cool kids. Welcome to Carrie T.
Hello, Carrie.
Welcome to Trinity S.
Hello, Trinity.
Welcome to Destiny D.
Hello, Destiny.
And welcome to Jamie P.
Hi, Jamie.
Sorry, that sounds like all those names read together like that sound like an iconic 90s like girl rock band.
Oh, absolutely.
We got Carrie T, Trinity S, Destiny D, and Jamie P.
That's right.
Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted.
Like very Josie's and the Pussycats.
Yeah.
Underrated film.
Underrated? Do people not like that?
People hated it when it came out. But it's like a cult classic now. But like I love that movie. I would put that movie on anytime. The boy band too is so funny. Oh my gosh.
That is one of my favorite movies.
I made my face. And now every time you see him, what's he doing? Oh, I'm at the VMAs. Oh, I'm making the face. Oh, I'm like this. Oh, I'm making the face. Oh, I'm at my mom's funeral. Oh, I'm making the face. He stole my face. It's like, I promise you we'll get you a new face. So good.
The way I didn't expect you to just come out running like that.
Well, I love that movie.
No, I didn't. I just didn't know.
You didn't know it was like that with me?
No, I didn't.
That I'm going to quote an obscure scene.
Yeah.
Everybody go watch Josie and the Pussycats. It's so good.
I was really taken aback there.
I see that.
Whoa.
You look frightened like I just told you horrible news.
You don't normally know like pop culture things or poppy things, or it just really it shook me to my core.
So my sister-in-law Amanda, that's like one of her favorite movies ever. So we watched it like every single time. So my brother married one of my best friends, and now they're divorced, and now she's married to someone else who I also love. But so she's still one of my best friends. So before they were even dating, I used to have sleepovers at her house all the time, and we would watch that movie like all the time.
So good.
Yeah, so good.
I knew I liked Amanda.
She's the best.
She is the best.
Amanda, hi.
Hi, Amanda.
You're beautiful. I love you and your beautiful family.
You are beautiful.
All right. So let's say some thank you to some people who bought us some beers as well.
Okay.
So
did they buy us these cocktails in a can?
So Ferreira did and said, I will be spending my 40th birthday this 13th. So yesterday from our recording day, Sunday from the day this comes out. And I wanted to spread some love to my favorite podcasters. She's in Jamaica.
Hell yeah. I went to Sandals, Jamaica for my honeymoon.
Yes, she did. She loves an all-inclusive.
I do.
Mm-hmm. And Ferreira says, keep on creeping on. You're doing a great job. Thank you.
Happy 40th birthday.
That's such a good birthday. And to spend there. Come on.
Literally, there's a drink that I don't know if it's everywhere, but it was at my hotel in Sandals called the Jamaican Smile.
Is that the banana one?
Yes.
Yeah, she had about 100 of those.
I think I had 17 a day. I'm not joking. Like, my husband was scared for me. He was like, who did I just marry?
He was like, oh no, I'm seeing the dark side of alcohol today.
Yeah, he married a monster and he knew it, but it was too late. So
Oh, also, I need everyone to know because everyone keeps DMing me about it. We did go to Chili's. We did try the Witch's Brew Margarita. It's a no for me, dog. If you like really sweet drinks, you'll probably like it, but it was way too sweet for me.
Chili's, I love you so much, but no.
Chili's, I love you so much, but your location in Long Beach, you first of all need to hire a bar back. And
yes.
Second of all,
yes, you do.
Your food was amazing. Everything tasted great. The Witch's Brew just wasn't my favorite. It was a little too sweet for me.
It wasn't hitting.
No.
You know?
But it's okay. I got the tequila trifecta, and that one was very good.
Yeah.
It was not too sweet at all.
I like the espresso martini, the Vanderpump Rules espresso martini.
Yes, that was their best signature drink. Yeah, I think. Yeah. But yeah, and of course the mozzarella sticks hit as always.
Ooh, those were chunky and cheesy, and the fucking cheese pull.
The cheese pulls were out of this world.
It was out of this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also
if the aliens are going to come down, it's going to be for that.
We should show them Chili's, and then maybe they won't annihilate us.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
We'll be like, hold on.
Wait.
We got something to show you.
Let me take you to Chili's. Somebody call a bar back.
Yeah. We will get you the giant mozzarella
We'll
sticks.
get you giant mozzarella sticks, and you gotta try the Chili's ranch. Hello. Okay. Kira also bought us some beers literally today, 2 hours ago.
Kira.
And Kira said, hello, ladies. I feel the need to celebrate for a couple of big things going on this week. So grab a drink or two of your choice of beverage and help me raise a glass. First, please help me wish my beautiful daughter, Michaela, a very happy birthday, which is Friday the 18th. Oh, this Friday.
Happy
oh my gosh.
birthday, Michaela.
And it's on Flynn Friday.
It is.
I'm so proud of the woman she has become. Oh. And second, I am happy to say I have finally caught up to all of your podcast episodes. I started at the beginning and have enjoyed all of the banter, the food reviews, and the recommendations, stories, and updates. I just love you guys. Cheers to you both. Warm regards, Mama K.
Mama K.
Thank you.
Cheers to you, and cheers
My drink
to
is
Michaela.
empty, but I will.
Oh,
You can't cheers on an empty glass. It's
you
bad
cannot.
luck.
Yeah,
It's bad luck. But thank you. We definitely will have a drink to you and to Michaela. And you know what? Fuck it. I'll also have a Crunchwrap Supreme in Michaela's honor.
that's right, baby.
That's right. Do it right.
Do it right. Do it tight.
Let's get started then.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So, I tried to theme my costume like my story today because Amanda did it and it seemed fun.
And I love that. I love that.
So I'm going to be talking about the hidden folk of Iceland.
Ooh.
And that is why I'm dressed kind of like an elf.
Slash.
There's some elf stuff happening. And
Katniss.
You'll see slash emo
Slash.
Katniss slash Gerard from Witcher slash
Zelda.
slash what's that video game called I was just saying? Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed. Yes.
Okay, so my sources today were weirdlittleworlds.com, NPR News, yourfriendinreykjavik.com, ABC News, and I think I quote some stuff later, but I reference them when I quote them. So.
I like Your Friend in Reykjavik. That's fun.
Right?
Like
Yeah.
a fun little website.
Yeah, they do. Actually, that website was really, really helpful. They do a blog all about Iceland. And then also the person who runs the blog does walking tours in Iceland.
The way I want to go.
I want to go to Iceland so bad.
So bad.
A couple years ago, basically every single person I knew went to Iceland within a span of like a year or two, and everybody just looked like they had like the most fun time
Yeah.
ever. And then so I was like, I'm gonna go, and then I was like, oh,
You need a passport.
you also need $1 million.
Yeah,
Are
that
you
too.
joking? It was so expensive. I was like, just kidding. Let's work on Cancun first. Okay, so Iceland is a Nordic island nation near the Arctic Circle. It's like just below, I think, the Arctic Rim. It's known for its wild lava fields. The landscape is incredibly beautiful and brutal, and like there's a bunch of different types of landscapes there. It's known for the glaciers and super clear waterfalls. It's also one of the best places in the world to try and go see the Northern Lights.
That's
which
the
is
one.
why I would want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very easy to see how someone who lives among such intense natural beauty would be open to believing in something a little bit more than maybe us in our concrete jungle over here.
I loved the wording there.
Thank you.
Wow.
So when studies have been done in Iceland regarding locals' beliefs, typically results come back that over 50% of the population believe in the Huldafolk, or hidden people, or as they're also known, elves.
I love it.
The origins of these people vary. Some believe they live in like a side-by-side dimension with us because they're like hidden to us except for certain times, but they're also like living amongst us, if that makes sense.
Okay. It's giving, when we talk about portals and
Yeah.
stuff like that, like there's a veil.
Yes, exactly.
And with the veil, I feel like I've seen this in like a movie or something. It's like they could be right here and we can't see them, but they can see us.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that is one of the theories. Some people believe in a more biblical beginning. One of the stories that is very popular is that Adam and Eve tried to hide several of their children from God, but you can't hide anything from God.
Or can you? No,
Of
I'm
course,
just kidding.
God confronts them, and he turns the children invisible and says, what was hidden from God will now forever be hidden from men. And the hidden people, or the elves, were created.
Ooh.
Because basically, from what I read, like Adam and Eve were having God over for dinner in the Garden of Eden.
Oh, were they?
And when God knocked on the door, she hadn't had enough time to give all of her kids a bath. And so she was embarrassed about the dirty ones to be in front of God. And so she tried to hide them. And he was like, can't hide nothing from me, bitch.
God.
And then he said, so now I hide them from you.
God's a little petty.
Wrathful. I
Yeah,
believe
he's
is
a
the
little
term.
petty little
Yeah.
bitch.
Another popular explanation is, and I'm just going to read this verbatim from your friend in Reykjavik. When the devil rebelled in heaven in ancient times, he and all who fought with him were cast into outer darkness. Those who watched him were cast out of heaven. But those who were neither for him nor against him and did not join the rebellion were driven down to earth in order to live in the hills, mountains, and rocks, and are called elves or hidden people. They cannot live with anyone but themselves and do both good and evil things as much as the other. They do not have a body as a human being does, but can appear to you whenever they want. I am now one of the group of the fallen spirits, so there is no hope that you can have more love for me than you already have. And that was like a quote from one of the elves or hidden folk.
Oh, like someone talked to them.
Like it's like that's like an excerpt from a story of a man who had an interaction with a beautiful woman and like wanted to be with her, and then they like boned, and then she was gone, and she like told him that like we can't ever actually be together.
Okay, so the hidden folk are hotties.
Well, I mean, just like anybody else, anybody could be a hottie or a naughty. We don't know.
That's true. You're right.
Anything could happen. Okay,
anything could happen.
So depending on where you are in Northern Europe, the description of the elves will vary. Some people believe that they look like humans, but are slightly smaller, more beautiful than us, and have like delicate bones and delicate skin. Some believe they're more like the Lord of the Rings elves, where they're tall and slim and have like the pointy ears and stuff.
I mean, oh, is Legolas an elf?
Yes.
Yeah, hot. See?
Yes.
Hotties.
Yeah. And actually, in my research, I found that the Nordic and like Viking version of elf like lore is what inspired the Lord of the Rings elves, J.R.R. Tolkien.
That makes sense.
Yeah. They also allegedly don't have phytral ridges, which is that little dip between your nose and your lips underneath your nose. Some reports say that they actually like ours dips in and that theirs like pokes out, and that's one of the biggest difference in telling between a human and an elf. Or some say that they don't have it at all and it's completely flat. I don't have a very deep one, like at all.
It's not deep, but like I can see it.
Yeah. I just never realized it until I was looking at yours, because yours is deeper than mine.
Yeah.
But I also don't have a very big top lip, so I think that might have something to do with it.
I also have a little bit of a butt chin, but you can't see it.
Do you? Oh,
well, you can't see it in my
secret butt chin.
It's a secret butt chin today.
Hidden butt chin.
Turns out starfish don't have chins.
They don't have chins. They're chinless.
Yeah.
Chinless folk.
So
relatable.
I had to make sure I didn't have a chin.
Good for you. That was like me with Mudang.
Anyone looking at the video, don't look at my eyebrows, please.
You can barely see them.
No, I know. I covered them with my pink face, but realized that they just look very thin, and because I didn't put anything on them.
Yeah.
So just ignore them.
Okay.
Thank you. I know I brought it up. But
you did bring it up. I don't think anybody would have noticed or looked at them.
No, like I brought it up, but also ignore it. You know?
Great start. According to the Icelandic Elf School, there are over 50 types of elves in Iceland, so I'm sure the way that they look may vary. So the idea of elves or hidden folks were first mentioned in a Viking poem back in 1000 AD.
Ugh.
I know, sick. I'm sorry. But elves and talk of elves are still a very common everyday thing for native Icelanders. On the blog, Your Friend in Reykjavik, the author wrote, quote, "It is common knowledge that Icelandic people are superstitious by nature. I was raised in a family where the elves were a part of the landscape and life in general. My mother used to tell me stories about the elves that she played with when she was growing up." So this is like a commonly believed, understood part of like the lore of the land.
I mean, if I had to guess anywhere that elves would live, it would be Iceland.
Yeah, it's so beautiful there. I mean, I'm sure our listeners aren't stupid. You guys have seen what Iceland looks like. But feel free to Google it right now and remind yourself how freaking gorgeous it is there. So the elves are said to live in rocks and mounds around the island. Their homes can't be seen by our human eyes, so they're just kind of seen as these like volcanic rocks or these like hill type structures.
I can picture it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they do not like to be disturbed by humans. Me either.
I was going to say, who would?
And I am one. In 2013, the Associated Press wrote, quote, elf advocates have joined forces with environmentalists to urge the Icelandic Road and Coastal Commission and local authorities to abandon a highway project.
Oh.
Elf advocates. Probably something you never thought that you would read, especially in 2013.
They're just elfing around.
You see, the Icelandic Road and Coastal Commission was attempting to build a shortcut highway road that would have to demolish a 70-ton boulder, which locals believed was a very important place for local elves. To quote the Associated Press article again, they said, quote, they fear disturbing elf habitat and claim the area is particularly important because it contains an elf church.
An elf church?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
So people were afraid that destroying this church or destroying this like community for the elves would turn to an upset in the natural balance of the area. Would there be earthquakes that might destroy their homes, an unexpectedly large eruption from one of the many volcanoes on the island, or would maybe the weather take a turn for the worse? None of this felt like it was worth it for one silly road.
I completely agree. And I'm surprised that all these human folk would
dare.
Would think that.
See,
though.
We're on your side.
No, but I'm saying like normally humans are like, oh, let's just destroy whatever.
Listen, the people of Iceland, they got it going on. I got to tell you.
I know. I'm thinking like, is that where we need to be?
I would love to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, Americans, we would destroy it.
No, we would destroy it. And then we'd be like, consequences, never heard of her. And then the consequences would happen. And we'd be like, why did Obama do this?
Obama, yes.
They still blame him. Hasn't been in office for 8 years. They still blame that man.
Definitely his fault.
Yeah. Thanks, Obama. You're like, what? What is going on?
You're like, what? I forgot about him.
I told you, it's like our president all the time is tweeting like he doesn't know who the president is. When I get my hands on this guy, I'm going to really show him who's boss. It's you.
It's you. You're the president.
You ice cream eating dude. Okay. So the locals in the area had a woman who actually knew how to communicate with the elves, and the commission actually hired her on and used her as an intermediary between the elves that lived in this large boulder and the humans who were trying to complete this project.
I love that.
She communicated with the elves, and the elves said that they were actually willing to compromise. And they said if you could give them 1 week of preparation so they could get everything like set to go, they would allow for the humans to move the boulder to a different area of their choosing. And then the construction crew could build their highway in the path of the boulder.
Okay. So they're reasonable.
Yeah, of course. And you know what happened? The construction crew paid the extra costs to have this giant boulder moved instead of destroyed. And everybody was happy. The locals were happy. The elves were happy. The construction crew was happy. And everybody got their highway.
I'm moving to Iceland.
They said, your way or the highway, elves. So this also wasn't the first time that this has happened in Iceland. Once there was a road that was supposed to be demolished and then redone in northern Iceland to fix, like, it was like really bumpy and had a bunch of shit wrong with it. And the locals basically told the crew, like, you're not going to fucking do that. There's no way, brother. There are elves and trolls that live in these mounds.
The trolls, too.
And you are not going to do it. Like, leave the road. We don't even care. Like, leave it. And sure enough, they did not. That road is still bumpy to this day.
Because you don't know what they will do. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
This is why this is the motto of today's episode.
Exactly.
I'm not going to mess with a troll or an elf or any mythological creature.
I'm really not trying to mess with anything mythological. I've got enough issues here in the corporeal world. I do not need like any, cosmic karma raining down on me.
There's already like some weird haunting things happening to my technology today.
Amanda's house is freaking out. Her car was freaking out. I'm sick all the time for no goddamn reason.
Yeah, there's things happening. So we don't need to we need the elves on our side.
Yes.
Yes.
We are friend to elf.
We are. If you're listening.
If you're listening, I know you are. Okay, so another time in the 1970s, a road construction crew was attempting to bore a hole through a hill so that the road could pass through the hill instead of having to do the longer to go around.
Like a tunnel?
Exactly. Getting a
Yes.
little tunnel action going on. Love to drive through a tunnel. Big tunnel fan.
Love to drive through a tunnel in a hill too, specifically.
So something super enchanting about that.
I did that in Ireland and it was lovely.
Oh, and then you go in and then you come out of the tunnel and you're like,
Yeah.
everything's so breathtaking. There's something about coming out of a tunnel that just makes you appreciate the world around you.
But now I'm scared that if I go through a tunnel in a hill, we've upset the elves.
Well, hopefully they have enough thought in their brain to be like these people. So in the 1970s, and this became like a huge news story locally and then eventually around the whole world, because they were bringing in these drills so that they could start drilling this hole to go through this hill. And strangely enough, every time a new drill was brought to the site, it would break down. Whether it would be the actual mechanics of the inside of the drill, or like the first drill they brought in, the drill bit just broke for no reason. The earth was super soft and there was no reason it should have broke, and it just snapped.
It's those damn elves.
And the first one wasn't so shocking. Sometimes things break, equipment is old, anything can happen, as we know. But after the third time, things were starting to become a little unbelievable. They did a complete work stop while all of the equipment on the work site was replaced, and that meant that the crew was hanging out with the locals. And the locals, they had a little something to say.
What'd they have to say?
They said that hill was inhabited completely by an elfin colony, and there was no way that they were ever going to be able to finish their work. The elves would never allow it.
And they shouldn't.
And
You
they
know what
should
I mean?
not.
Like, where's Papa Elf?
Yeah. So a whole load of new equipment shows up. It's brought in. Everything's brand new. And sure enough, everything breaks down as they attempt to disrupt the hill.
Those elves said, "No way, Jose.
No way.
Get off my hill."
And of course, the road was eventually built to go around the hill.
As it should be.
I'm just saying, it's the elves' way or the highway.
And that's the kind of energy that I need.
I agree. I think this is how we should be living life.
Yeah, like we need to take after the elves more.
Because, okay, let's be honest, like humans, we kind of fucked everything up. Like I know we
100%.
we love to say like, oh, we're the most, like human life is so much more important than any other life on earth. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm vibing with that and everything, but also we're the ones who came in and fucked up literally everything.
I was going to say, we're also destroying everything on
when you
Earth,
see like all these sad polar bears that are all like, like
Don't talk to me
skinny
about them.
and shit and can't eat, and they're like trying to find ice because everything's melting and shit. Like that's us. We did that like 100%. Like you see all these little kids are getting bombed and stuff.
No.
We did that.
Yeah.
We did that. We are cancer upon the earth.
Do you know who wouldn't
But we
do that?
don't need to be. We could be more like the elves.
The elves would never do that.
We could just live in nature.
We could just live in hills and mounds of dirt.
Unfortunately, colonialism and white supremacy is more than even just like a issue of social stuff. It also destroys the earth. We got to kill the bears if the bears get too comfortable around people. The bears were there first.
So
okay?
true. It's so true.
Let the bears have it.
Yeah.
We know the danger of going into a national forest, that there might be a fucking bear there.
That's on us.
That's on us. You could just stay out of the forest.
Yeah.
You took everybody else's land. Why do you also need to take this from this bear?
Or like when stupid people jump into enclosures at a zoo and then they kill the animal. I'm sorry. That's the human's fault.
Yep.
And then the animal had to die because you decided to jump into the enclosure. No.
Yep. Yeah.
No. I'm done being a human, I think. I just decided.
You want to be a fairy or
an elf, yeah.
Yeah.
Or a fairy, whatever.
This is just, this is just how it works, guys. Iceland figured it out a little bit.
They
at
really
least.
did.
So there was a hospital in a city called Sulfossi, and they were going to make a whole new wing on the hospital, and they actually canceled that attempt at expansion because when they tried to move a rock that was in the way of where they wanted to build the new wing of the hospital, there were communication issues throughout the hospital. The pagers stopped working, phone lines dropped out, and they realized like, oopsies, we might be interrupting something and touching something we shouldn't. And so they stopped.
Good.
And
this whole thing is just good.
I know. I've never been more pro elf than I
am so pro elf
right now.
Wow.
And a couple years ago on the island of Hrisay, I'm sorry if I said that wrong. There's one of those little guys over the eye. Anything could happen there. Hrisey with the guy over the eye, the little guy over the eye.
Yeah, I think I would go with what you said.
A doctor tried to add a patio to his house, but every time that he would try to dig up the earth, the equipment would start malfunctioning, and he immediately canceled the project and decided that he didn't need a patio in his backyard. Respect the earth.
I am just like so impressed.
I know.
Because we would never.
We would never. No, Americans would never.
God.
Well, colonial Americans would never. I have a big feeling that indigenous folks here would listen to the...
So that's quite literally what was going through my brain just now, is that this is giving when people build over like indigenous people's land, right? And then a lot of haunting things tend to happen. And people are like, ooh, I wonder why this is happening. It's like, oh, I don't know.
Well, that's my next paragraph is literally, some of these stories might sound familiar because there was similar distress from a First Nations tribe in America when a site was looking to be developed where for centuries the native people in the area had believed that there were invisible beings that lived in these hills. And like same thing, they were like, do not build on these hills. This is sacred land. You do not need to build here. You'll also hear very similar stories coming out of, and ones we've even talked about on this podcast that I think Amanda kind of more covered it, out of Ireland, Scotland, and the UK. You'll hear very similar things where it's like them, there's things in those hills.
Yes.
There's things in those fjords. There's things happening that maybe you should it's
even
better to not.
Even my story today kind of has a little bit of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The thing is, you really cannot talk down on the people of Iceland. They are not an ignorant group of people. So when it comes to intelligence, they continuously rank as one of the most literate, most educated, and most technologically advanced countries in the world.
Wow.
Yes.
And they
respect the earth.
They respect the earth. They respect the potentially mythological fake beings, which they're not fake, obviously, to me. I believe in them. But they seem like great people.
I agree. And we'll get to some statements from people about the elves in a little bit. But first, we got to talk about 2008.
What happened in 2008?
Economic crash.
Oh, okay.
It happened here in the United States. Many of us lived through it. It happened in many countries all around the world. In 2008, the economy crashed, and Iceland, unfortunately, was one of the countries that was very heavily affected. And because of the land's natural beauty, with the glaciers and the waterfalls and everything, of course, the first plan that the government came up with was, we need to start pushing our tourism because this is like one of the most gorgeous places in the entire world.
Yeah.
Right? And one of the more kitschy concepts that some shop owners and companies decided to lean into was pushing the elves from Iceland.
Okay.
So some of it was done respectfully. Some of it was done very disrespectfully, collecting rock from volcanic areas and calling them fairy rocks.
And then selling them in stores.
And making shirts that said things like, quote, I just had sex with an elf in Iceland. And other kind of just boorish things that were, people just did not like, especially people who had a lot of respect.
Fucking rude, because chances are an elf would not touch you with a 10-foot pole.
If you would buy a shirt like that, you probably suck, and an elf wouldn't want to fuck you anyway.
Yeah, an elf would definitely not fuck you. I can literally guarantee it.
Literally guaranteed.
Yes.
That's a double D HD guarantee.
What was the HD?
I don't know, like high definition.
Okay.
I was trying to think of something with your costume, but I was like, PS.
That's a double D.
PS guarantee.
Patrick Star guarantee.
Of course, some people thought it was just a harmless bit of fun, but a lot of people thought it was really offensive and kind of fucked up because first, to disrespect people who really did believe in these elves and held them as, a cultural icon in their native land, it's like disrespectful to generations of cultures on this island, that this island also only has like 350,000 people living there. So when you say, oh, 60%, 70% of people believe in elves, like that is a lot of people. And you probably live right next to them because it's not like in America where there's like fucking millions of us. And it's like, oh, you could say 60%, but I live in a town where that's just not the case, right?
Yeah.
This is a smaller communities.
That's a lot of people that believe in elves.
Yeah. Some who just really believed in the elves thought it might bring bad luck because they're just straight up disrespecting the people that are seen, or the elves that are seen to be the stewards of the land. And in surveys done in Iceland, even people who reported back that they did not believe in elves said that if they were told there was an elf stone on their property, they would not remove it or touch it because why would you risk that?
This is exactly like our friend Kate. She always says, I don't know if I believe in ghosts or spirits, but I'm not going to mess with it.
That's my boyfriend.
And your boyfriend says that?
Says that all the time. He always says, I don't believe in supernatural. Like he's like a true atheist, right? Like doesn't believe in anything after death, doesn't believe in anything. But he's also like, but I'm not stupid enough to try.
Yeah.
Like to try and fuck with it.
It's like, why would I do a Ouija board if you never know?
Yeah. 'Cause he's open to being wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything could happen.
And so a photographer who captures elf sites for a photo series, her name is Svala Ragnars. She said, quote, I don't know if elves exist, but elf belief exists. Elves represent nature in our culture. By protecting and respecting nature, humans respect the elves. Their homes are the rocks, the cliffs, and the hills, and they must not be messed with.
Hard agree.
Another woman who was interviewed, like a young woman who they just had like a sound clip from her in an article about elves. She said she doesn't know if they're real, but the values of protecting them are also the same values of protecting the wildness and the beauty of Iceland. So she fully supports anything that the elves may want and thinks that if you are going against the elves, you are going against nature as a whole, and Iceland only exists because of its beautiful nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
This seems to be a very popular sentiment in Iceland, especially like around people who don't believe in elves. They are like, okay, but even if you like that opening quote that I said, where the elf defenders and the people who are defending nature often protest side by side because they believe in the same thing, which is the preservation of the earth and of the beauty of Iceland.
Yes,
it's just such a beautiful story, and like, I don't know, Iceland is such a beautiful, wonderful, like unique place. There's nowhere that looks like it really on our earth.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really great that like as a community and as these people who live here, they really are invested in not only continuing their culture, but also continuing their beliefs and standing on business about it. I really do respect that.
No, I really had no idea. You mentioned you were going to talk about elves, but I had no idea it was going to be kind of like this.
Thank you. I know. I was trying to give you a little shocker there.
I know. I really like it.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff that I was reading about Iceland too, like just like looking at Iceland's Wikipedia and stuff like that, it was really isolated for a really long time until World War II kind of. And then when World War II happened, because of all the stuff going on with Germany and Russia and everything, the UK and America had military bases there, and things got kind of like modernized very quickly. But the fact that like the people who lived there were so intent on like passing their culture down, I mean, it's just inspiring and really great. And I'm glad to see that happen, because as we see in the world today, I mean, we look what America did with the indigenous people who are on the land here and people who are against the land back movement, when like the native people are the people who should be the stewards of the land, right? Mm-hmm. There's just so much going on in the world that I just feel like this kind of touches on.
It does. And literally, if the people of Iceland can respect the elves and the trolls, you would think that we would respect human beings.
Yeah.
But we don't.
That's something that we've talked about and touched on a little bit in this podcast. Not all the time, but just there's a reason that there are cultural stories from like indigenous people all over the globe that intersect in like a weird way. They obviously all have their unique spin, but that have like similar themes, because the themes a lot of the times are protect your children, protect the earth, respect one another, right? Like the basics, the things that we shouldn't need to read the Bible to know.
Yeah,
that kind of
absolutely,
thing,
yeah.
that kind of stuff. And that's what this story really reminds me of. And that's why I would like to close this out with a quote from Ragnars, who is the photographer we were talking about earlier, who takes the pictures of different fairy dwellings.
Yes, please.
And she says, fairy faith can be seen as an opposition to the big bulldozer and industrialization. People who see elves often demonstrate side by side with environmentalists. And I think we need a little bit of that with fucking hurricanes rolling through. And, the earth is telling us it's sick. Maybe we should listen a little bit.
That's so real.
Yeah. This is not even what I actually even meant for this to turn into. I don't know how that happened. But
I thought that was a really, I was really shocked, actually, hearing that story and how much the people of Iceland respect whether it's their culture or the legends from their culture or whatever. I love that.
People's cultures, and even our, sometimes your own culture, you find yourself not being like, oh, that's so silly. There's a reason these stories get told.
Yeah.
And I just really think it's great that there's a group of people in Iceland who are like, fuck yeah, I'm going to make sure we keep it alive.
What were they called? The Elf Society or whatever? The
Elf Advocates.
Elf Advocates. I want to be one.
They've joined forces with environmentalists.
Cheers.
I think I'm an elf advocate. Absolutely.
Cheers to that. Cheers to the elves.
Cheers to the elves.
And to Iceland.
I hope to be in you one day.
I also want to be in you.
I want to so bad.
Today, we're going to talk about the Humpty Doo Poltergeist.
Oh, this is such a fun one.
Do the Humpty Hump. Do the Humpty Doo. Yeah.
This is a good one.
Sorry, I'm 3 drinks in, so.
And they were good drinks.
They were delicious, and things are going to get freaky because we're going down under.
The scariest fucking place in the world.
The scariest place.
With so much peace and love. I literally love Australian people.
Me too.
I love you guys. I think you guys are funny and a good time. I'm just so afraid of everything that resides in your country.
It's really just the bugs and the animals
and the stuff in the ocean.
Yeah.
All of boxed jellyfish. Are you joking my ass?
I don't want to know. Don't even talk to me about it. Okay, so back to Humpty Doo.
And your Humpty Doos?
And the Humpty Doos are pretty scary. So my sources were The Daily Telegraph by David Wood, an article by Jake Carter on anomalian.com, hauntedauckland.com by Ashley Hall, thefortean.com by Cropster, the TV show episode of this case called Today Tonight, and then an interview with the author of the book, Australian Poltergeists, Paul Cropper, who is also Cropster as well. So there was 2 different things with him.
Listen, sometimes you have an online presence and sometimes you have both.
He has a little persona. It's cute.
That's me with Casseraptor.
That's right. So Humpty Doo. Humpty Doo is a town in Australia, obviously, located in the Darwin region with a population of less than 5,000 people. So there's a lot of speculation on exactly how this, the name of the town came to be. Some people suggest that it was actually called Umdidoo or Umdoodoo, which, like we were talking about earlier, according to my sources, these were words from indigenous people that most likely lived in this area first.
Got it. Okay.
Before we took over.
Do you know how Australia started?
No, please tell me.
Okay, so Australia started as it was a prison colony.
Oh, really?
They would send all the bandits and all the killers and whatever over to Australia. They literally started as a prison colony.
Maybe that's why it's
at least for the
scary
whites.
Place. So anyway, Umdidoo or Umdoodoo, this means a popular resting place. That's kind of what that meaning is.
Okay.
So it's believed that throughout the years, the town ended up being called Umpty Doo and then Humpty Doo as a variation of these words. And Humpty Doo supposedly means everything topsy-turvy or upside down.
Like Humpty Dumpty.
Kinda, yeah. Which to me, I feel like this, like all these meanings, like a popular resting place, everything topsy-turvy, everything upside down, it kind of like adds on to the fact that strange things are occurring here. Like there's like some weird stuff going on here.
Yeah. Like you're in a place that everything, you can't trust anything you see because everything's a little wrong.
Well, because like my first initial reaction, I never watched it, but the upside down, Stranger Things.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of something that hits my brain.
Yeah.
So the story I'm going to tell is a little bit of a controversial one in the paranormal community, like most poltergeist or haunting cases normally are. But I'm going to give you the full story, the details, and then you can kind of let me know what you think and decide for yourself.
I already believe everyone involved.
I know you do. I do as well. Just for the record, before we even start, fully believe everybody, okay?
Say no more.
So our story begins in August of 1997 when a young couple named Dave Clark and Jill Somerville move into a home on McMinn's Drive in Humpty Doo. I really need to live in Humpty Doo.
Great name.
It's just so good.
Great name for a
Where
town.
do you live? Humpty Doo?
Humpty Doo.
Humpty
You
Doo.
can't miss it. It's called Humpty Doo.
It's just Humpty Doo over there. So this couple, they were actually renting this house. It was a 4-bedroom house. It had a pretty cool backyard area. It had like a bar set up, a pool.
Oh, my dream.
Pretty good for some nice hangouts, maybe some parties.
I need to get a friend with like a backyard.
So I'm pretty sure this couple, their friend Doug Murphy, also lived at the house with them as like a roommate. Some sources say he just like hung out there all the time. So I'm not exactly sure what was happening there.
Okay.
But he was always there. Then, come January of 1998, they did have another couple move into the house with them to kind of like help with the rent and the bills. And this couple was Andrew and Kirsty Aegis and their 10-month-old daughter, Jasmine.
Ooh, we got a baby in the mix.
We got a baby, folks. One night after this new family moves into the home, Dave, Jill, Andrew, and Kirsty, and the other guy, Doug Murphy, they're all sitting outside on the patio. They're drinking some beers, and they're watching the rain fall outside as a thunderstorm starts to roll in. Sounds like a pretty fun evening to me.
Yeah. I'm like, sounds like a dream evening.
Yeah,
for me.
literally.
Yeah.
But then things quickly take a turn when all of a sudden these little tiny pebbles start to fly out of the dark shadows from the backyard and start hitting the roof of the house, start hitting all around the patio, and even start hitting the people.
Okay.
So the first reaction from the group is maybe there's someone out there throwing these pebbles at them, some stupid douchebag, maybe some stupid annoying teenagers. It's always a teenager. So they start to scream
Always
at them.
a teenager.
It's always a teenager. That's just what I would assume. So they start to scream off the porch like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Stop.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you kids, cut that out.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah. But of course, it didn't stop. So after a while of this happening, I think at one point the guys went out like into the woods to kind of see if there was anything going on. It is super dark, by the way. It is nighttime. But they didn't see anything. Everyone's just getting super annoyed. So they decide to pack up all their stuff and head back inside.
Okay.
But to everyone's surprise, those teeny tiny pebbles somehow began falling around inside the house.
Don't like that at all.
They were landing on the floor, on the tables, and even on the beds, and then also hitting these 5 people straight in the noggin.
Not the noggin.
Not the noggin. It was like they were just materializing from thin air and falling out of the ceiling.
Which is something we hear a lot with poltergeist stories.
Poltergeists. I don't know what it is about rocks and poltergeists, but they love
fucking
them.
love those guys.
They literally love them. Another thing that the tenants noticed was that the pebbles were dry and warm to the touch, which was weird because it was raining outside. So if these were rocks coming from outside, they would be cold and wet.
Yeah, and if they like somehow got like sucked up into a system, like a really, you know, sometimes like people say that like, oh, you know, the weather was so weird, it was like sucking things up from
things up.
and that must be what it was. Okay, well then why are they dry and warm?
Yeah, exactly.
They shouldn't be that.
Very strange. But once again, everyone is just kind of trying to rationalize what's happening here. One of the guys got out the ladder and he went to check up in the attic because he's like, maybe there's something happening in the attic with these pebbles and they're falling down. I don't know how they would fly through the ceiling, but whatever. But once he opens the hatch to the attic, a shower of pebbles just fell on top of him.
Oh my gosh.
So there was a lot of pebbles in the attic. The pebble thing continued for a few days, falling in almost every room except for the baby's room, which seemed to be the only untouched place in the house.
Okay.
Very interesting. But then things got even more intense. Objects like bottles, knives, and shards of glass began flying around the home, nearly hitting the house guests on multiple occasions.
Poltergeists also, I feel like, hate house guests.
Yeah.
They either like don't do anything or they're like, I'm going to get exponentially worse because you're here.
The poltergeist is Julie Chen Moonves from Big Brother. And he's like, house guests, I fucking hate you. You know what I mean? Sorry, I was just watching the Big Brother finale this morning.
Literally don't even know what you're talking about, but I support you 100%.
Oh, yeah. Julie Chen Moonves. That's all she said. She's the face of Big Brother.
So she's the same girl like from Big Brother 1.
Yes.
Sorry, I just never knew her name.
She has literally been the host.
She's
for
an icon.
26 seasons.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I love her.
Me too.
Because I watched Big Brother, when I was like, I don't know, junior high.
I love Big Brother.
But I haven't watched it since. I didn't know it was the same girl. Like, hell yeah, girl, keep serving.
Get that bag.
She's always wearing like really cute shit too.
Great.
Yeah, she looks great.
Stuff. Good. But maybe she's the poltergeist. So just envision her.
It's her.
House
guest.
She's serving. She's like,
and
house
she's serving.
Here's some fucking pebbles, bitch. Drop them down. So the two women in the home, Kirsty and Jill, they would often wake up in the middle of the night to scratching noises coming from inside the walls, like next to their head. And Jill said at one point, it completely freaked us out. It was like something was actually inside the wall next to us. We couldn't sleep. We were crying. We would have left the house, but we had nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
Which is like a very classic thing that I've obviously talked about in many paranormal stories where all these scary, terrifying things are happening and the people stay in the house. And you're like, why are you staying in the house? But they have nowhere else to go.
Yeah, I mean, like, even we live in the same city. It would have to be really, really, really bad for me to ever be like, I have to stay with you.
I don't know. I would leave pretty fast.
Where would you go?
Who knows?
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think you would.
The other day, sorry for a sidebar, but
you had scary stuff happening all day today.
That's very true.
Yeah,
I did. The other day, I was at work and my friend Carly was like, oh my God, my boyfriend just texted me and said that he heard a scratching noise coming from behind the TV and he went to go investigate. And she shows me the picture of what he found. And it was like this fucking weird ass big lizard that was hanging upside down behind their television. And I said,
what?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's called a skink. I don't know if you've ever heard one.
And how did it get into their home?
Nobody knows.
They live in Long Beach.
They live in San Pedro.
San Pedro. Okay.
15 minutes away.
Skinks shouldn't be just skinking in.
It was skinking and just sitting.
Aren't those like somebody's pet?
Girl, I don't know. I don't know where it came from.
I'm sickened.
It was huge. It was like that.
That is far too large.
How big is this?
Sorry,
Describe
she's doing like almost a foot.
Yeah. It was like this. Hanging upside down behind his TV. He said he thought it was a bat. The way I would move.
Well, you got to find the source of the skink.
You got to move. You got to leave.
You got to find out where that skink came from. Because what, are there more?
I don't know. There's a whole slew of skinks.
We got a skank over here?
Skink, skank, skunk. I told her, I said, maybe you're such a skank that he thought that you were one of him.
They're having a skink social?
Yeah. He said, oh, I thought this was skinks, not skanks.
Thought this was Skank Fest.
Yeah. Skank Fest 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is America. This is not even Australia.
I know. Horrible.
Horrifying.
You know what? I take it back, Australia. I'll come hang out. Keep the skinks away. That's all I ask. Skanks are welcome.
Skanks welcome. Skinks stay away.
Skinks less.
So once again, things just continue to escalate as time went on. Things around the home were starting to get completely destroyed. A CD player was thrown across a room and smashed onto the floor and broke into pieces. Glass cabinet doors were being shattered by different flying objects. And the house guests realize, okay, This entire place is getting fucked up. Like, they're renters, right? I don't think poltergeist activity is covered by renter's insurance. So they need to figure something out.
Yeah. And they will fight you on that.
Oh, absolutely. So although none of these people were religious, they really didn't know where else to go except to turn to the church. So they end up contacting a priest named Father Stephen de Sousa from Darwin's St. Mary's Cathedral. And when he got to the home, he did a little walkthrough and he's just kind of checking things out. And when he began to walk out of the kitchen, one of the tenants that was standing behind him screamed, "Father!" And as he turned around, he sees a steak knife flying straight at him.
Oh my God.
So he claims that no one at all was standing in the area with him. They were all kind of standing like behind him, and nobody was standing in the area where the knife was thrown from, like in the direction. And allegedly, according to everyone that was there and Father de Sousa, the knife was heading straight for him and then just seemed to stop in midair and fall to the ground at his feet.
Oh, hell no.
Like there was an invisible force field around him.
Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Yeah, absolutely not.
Like, I'm sorry, what?
I don't fuck with that at all.
And Julie Chen Moonves said, "What is that invisible force field? I did not sign up for this."
That was not for me.
I don't think so. So this father was actually pretty unfazed by the whole ordeal because I guess he had like seen things like this before. I'm assuming he has blessed many houses, maybe done an exorcism or two. Who knows?
You would hope.
You would hope.
If that's who you're calling.
He's a Catholic. I don't know.
I don't know what you guys are up to over there.
Who knows? So he did end up doing a Catholic ritual to try and like bind the spirit. But he did tell everyone, he said, "Hey, listen, prayer rarely works on poltergeists. I got to be honest. But whatever this is, most likely will not physically harm anyone, even though it literally threw a knife at him." So I don't know why he would say that.
Yeah, big talk from the guy who it actually tried to hurt.
He said, "Don't worry, everybody. It's not going to actually hurt you.
It only wants to kill me.
We're
the man of God.
We are good. You're good. You guys aren't even religious. You're good.
You're so good."
So after he leaves, they're like, skirt, we don't feel safe. So they contact another priest. And this was from Humpty Doo's parish. And his name was Father Tom English. And he too quickly saw things flying around the home that seemed to defy explanation. He said that things would fall from out of nowhere or crash into a wall when only one person was in the room, or he was completely alone and there was no one even around.
Yeah.
So he's like, how's that possible? So he also decided to go around the house. He blessed it. He doused it in holy water. But once again, the poltergeist or whatever was causing these things to happen did not go away. In fact, having the priest there and kind of like trying to get rid of it just seemed to make it even angrier. And the night he left, the container of holy water that he had gave the house guests smashed against the wall and shattered.
That's not a good sign.
No,
I would say
no.
typically if something is shattering your holy water, we don't like that.
You should probably move. Like, you should move.
Yeah.
I would have been long gone. I would have been gone with the skank, you know?
One skink is all it takes.
One skank and I am out. Imagine a poltergeist.
Skink, skank, skunked. You know what I mean? We're done.
Can you imagine if I had a fucking polty?
No, I can't. A
No.
polty? Had a polty on
That's
hand?
what they call them, by the way. They
Fuck
call
that.
them polty, polts. That's what they call them.
We had a polty in the building? Absolutely not.
Gotta
Even if it was
go.
just a neighbor with a
What if
polty,
it
I
was-
think we'd lose her.
What if it was a polty with a skank? Ooh.
Imagine it's a dead skink is the polty.
Oh, no. That's rough.
We got all sorts of fucking stuff to
Too
deal
many
with then.
things,
Yeah.
especially in Australia. So finally, they're like, okay, this guy has got to be our guy, right? They call another priest. This guy is Greek Orthodox.
Oh, they're bringing in the heavy
They're
hitters.
bringing in the big guns.
They're like,
They need them.
these Roman Catholics can't fucking cut it. We got to bring in the Greeks.
We need them.
We need the Greeks.
So this guy, he makes an altar on the kitchen table.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We need
This is a heavy hitter, people.
like a Mennonite. We need
Yeah.
we need like somebody who like takes this shit serious.
Yeah,
like
we
does
gotta
like
go
altars,
in.
who does like old school shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need some like old school Catholicism.
That's right.
None of this New Testament bullshit.
So our Greek priest, he also goes around to each room and he blesses it. And he's reading these passages in each room from this like big giant black book that he has. And as he's reading the passages, an invisible force tries to aggressively grab the book out of his hands, and he's like fighting with it.
Is the book a Bible or is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you.
Secret book.
Secret book.
See, this is why you trust the Greeks with these things.
And then this invisible force twists his right arm back behind his back.
Oh, no, like he's getting arrested?
Something like that.
Yeah, no, we can't have that.
And this man says this was unlike anything he's ever encountered before. Naturally.
It's not a great.
And
It's not a great start.
skunked out of there.
Yeah, he said, fuck you guys.
So after all the priests have come and gone, Mr. Pulte, as the people call him, decided he was going to start to communicate with the house guests. Words were now being left around the house, sometimes written on a wall with a marker, sometimes neatly spelled out on the floor in pebbles. And then eventually the house guests were like, okay, obviously this thing wants to communicate with us. So they started leaving piles of Scrabble letters in different rooms.
Honestly, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's really smart.
I think that's really smart. This is giving the elves. They were like, here, Mr. Pulte.
Let us work with you.
We support you and help us out.
Maybe we'll work together and figure this out.
Exactly. Just tell us what you need. The words that were being spelled out, however, they were a little bit unsettling to my house guests. Fire, skin, car, help, and Troy were all the words that were being left around the house.
And Troy, fucking Troy. They're just like huge fans of High School Musical.
This is way before High School Musical, babe. No, actually, the reason this was so unsettling to them was because they actually had a friend that was named Troy Raditz, and he passed away in a very tragic car accident where he and the other person that was in the car were basically burned up inside the car after it had crashed.
Got it. Okay.
And Troy had died very, very shortly before all the activity had started.
Okay, so that's why it's connected.
Well, that's why we had fire, skin, car, help, and Troy kind of all connected to this tragedy, right? Although these words matched up with what happened to Troy, his name was misspelled. So the guy's name was actually Trouy, and they spelt it Troy, like you normally would.
Yeah.
Which makes me and other people believe that this was not their friend in the home.
Oh, I don't think it was Troy.
Yeah, perhaps an evil presence, because we've covered a lot of stories and heard a lot of stories about like evil or the devil trying to pretend to be somebody, but then they do this one tiny little thing wrong.
And you're like, they would never do that.
And you're like, that's not you, bitch.
Yeah.
You're a fucking liar. You can't even fucking spell his name right.
Well, to me, I was thinking like, oh, maybe they're trying to warn, but like it already happened.
It already happened, yeah.
You know me, I'm always trying to find the good in a ghost.
Don't do that.
I know.
They're evil.
It's a bad trait of
They're
mine.
evil, and I'm sorry, if you're gonna fucking pretend to be somebody, learn how to spell their name. That's all I have to say.
At the basic.
It's literally the least you could do.
That's literally
It's
the
the
least.
bare min, you know? Mm-hmm. On March 20th, a local school teacher named Annette Taylor and her partner Lloyd Green were visiting the house when a large cross and trident appeared on the ground made of hundreds of tiny pebbles.
A trident?
A trident.
Okay.
I'm imagining something of the devil, but I can't fully picture it.
Oh, like a pitchfork?
Yeah,
type
that's what I would
thing? Okay,
imagine,
I was picturing like from Little Mermaid.
Yeah, I don't know why they said trident when I would think pitchfork, but it's kind of the same.
Listen, Australia uses different words than us sometimes.
That's so true. And apparently they had already been in that room and there was nothing on the ground. And when they walked back in there, that's when they saw this like creation. And it was so neat and so perfectly constructed that they both said this would have taken hours to make.
They
There's
couldn't have done
no
it in
way.
the 5 minutes that we,
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
So Dave bends down to like touch the pebbles. And as he does, they all immediately start flying everywhere.
I do not like that.
They said it was so loud, it was hitting the windows, it was hitting the walls, that it even woke up little baby Jasmine and she started to cry.
I just feel like it would drive me so crazy because I'm like, okay, you're terrorizing me and now I have to clean up a bunch of fucking rocks everywhere all the time.
There's so many rocks.
Like, that's so annoying.
Like, I imagine the whole floor filling with rocks at one point because they're just keep falling from the sky.
Yeah, that's so annoying. Like, at least if you're going to terrorize me with something that I don't have to clean up afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, throw some like chicken parm down here.
Ooh, oh yes.
I'll be like, oh no, not chicken parm ghost bat.
It's like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Exactly.
You know? That's what we want here. We don't want fucking pebbles. What are you talking
am I supposed
about?
to do with these pebbles?
We can't do anything with them.
Unless they're like that Mexican ranch pebble or whatever. That shit's expensive at Home Depot if you want it for your landscaping.
Real. Okay, so now this is where the media comes in, because obviously the media has to come. Journalists started visiting the home. On one occasion, a journalist was at the house, and out of nowhere, seashells began falling from the ceiling onto the ground in front of her. And this really scared her because just the day before, this bitch was out at the beach collecting seashells.
That's not a good sign.
So
they know what you're up to.
How the fuck does this entity literally know anything at this point? Like, they know Troy. They can pull things from different places to fucking, like, specifically scare you.
I hate to say it, but I think they might be skimming the mind a little bit.
They might be. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
That's not even the song.
No, I know, but it's funnier that way. It's everything is awesome, right?
Yes.
Anything could happen is way funnier.
No, it's way funnier. That's our theme song. 2 investigators that actually wrote the book that I referenced earlier, Australian Poltergeists, they spent a few days in the Humpty Doo house, and they too experienced pebbles coming down from the ceiling. And even a bullet case crashed down on one of the guy's legs while he was sitting at the table. And everyone in the house was present. Apparently, they were drinking coffee at the table. He literally could see everybody. And this thing just materialized above his head and fell onto his knee.
Bullet case? Like a casing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But also bullets have been known to be thrown around the house as well.
Okay.
Then the house guests, they get contacted by a popular TV show called Today Tonight. And the house guests agree. They're like, yeah, you can come on in with the camera crew and film everything for 2 weeks. Because at this point, they're like, we don't know what the fuck is happening. This is getting exhausting. Come on in. Let's show the world what we've been going through, that we're not lying, that this is really happening and we're being tormented by something.
There's like something really bad happening here.
And this is where our story gets controversial.
I'm so ready.
So during the 2 weeks that the crew is there, the crew seems to be experiencing everything from the pebbles falling from the ceiling to batteries being thrown, glass shards being thrown, knives, bullets, like I just said. They literally started collecting everything that were being thrown around, and they would call them the frequent flyers.
Hilarious.
Pretty hilarious.
That's pretty fucking good. Yeah.
And they had like a whole drawer full of everything that they were collecting that was being thrown around the house. But of course, every single time something crazy happened, the crew either was not videotaping in that direction, or the camera was off, or they would just hear the thing like hit the ground or hit the wall and then turn the camera really fast, but they would never be able to capture
it actually
happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, classic again.
Very classic. But of course, this is what sparked a huge controversy in the case. So either this poltergeist was doing this on purpose and like trying to mess with everybody, or this entire thing was completely made up and a hoax.
I'll reserve my opinion.
Okay, reserve your opinion.
Sorry.
Right as taping was coming to an end, they finally caught activity on camera. It was this like white bottle or something. I'm not even entirely sure what it was, but it was being thrown into a room from like the top, like from the ceiling.
Okay.
And Jill comes out of the room and says, "Where did that come from?" And after they filmed this, The crew went back and looked at the tape because they hadn't seen it at first. Like, they just saw the thing fly across the room. So they were like, oh, let's look more at the footage before we start editing it. And they zoomed into the glass cabinet that was in the shot. And that's when they saw the shadow of a person that looked like it was throwing something. And when they zoomed in even more, they believe that this person was Kirsty, who was Jasmine's mom.
Oh, like hiding and
yes,
doing weird shit. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So before we continue, I'm going to show you the footage.
I would like to see it.
Of that, and then you can tell me kind of what you think.
It's so hard to know when you like I don't know Kirsty and her mannerisms.
Right, I don't know either.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So where am I looking?
You'll see.
Not appear to have been projected by a person.
So see that thing fall? You saw that, right?
Yes, the white thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On close analysis of this picture, we found a reflection which clearly shows one of the people in the house throwing something.
So you see that? Did you see that shadow?
Yes, but that doesn't even look like a person. Am I crazy? Am I wrong?
No, you're not crazy to me.
We found a reflection which clearly shows one of the people in the house throwing something.
That-
At first,
what?
one of the residents admitted on the telephone that she threw the object and agreed
Okay, so I saw somebody walk by.
And you kind of see it looks like an arm is throwing something, but to me,
The use of the word clearly there is very generous.
the thing that falls doesn't even look like it's falling in front of the cabinet. It looks like it's falling from behind.
It's not, yeah.
Right? Am I crazy? This is literally the most controversial thing ever.
Oh,
And
okay.
even people on YouTube,
Are people going to be mad at me?
people are very 50-50 in the
Okay,
comments
okay.
from what I was
At first,
seeing.
residents admitted-
I just
residents
don't
admitted on the telephone.
See it in the reflection.
I see it a little bit, but
I
feel
mean,
like,
I see there is a head there. I don't see the arm.
I feel like I
I don't
have
see
to
the arm at all.
really look in order to see it.
I mean, I don't see the arm at all. I'm really looking right
Yeah.
now. I don't see the arm at all. I
But
do see a head,
also-
but also I'm like, I don't know. She did. They also said that she admitted to doing it on the phone.
We'll get there.
Okay.
But the thing, it looks like it's coming from behind the cabinet to me. So I don't even see it
I
coming
could
in front of
definitely
the
see
cabinet.
how if somebody threw it up like as high as they could, like lobbed it,
Yeah.
that it would make that trajectory. I could
That's
definitely
fair.
see that. But I just didn't see what they were seeing. I saw that there was reflections of people in the thing, but
Yeah.
those people recording were also reflected in
That's
it.
very true.
And they're all just kind of like vague shadows. So I
Very
don't know.
true.
Like to me, I'm like, okay, that doesn't really mean anything to me.
So, like you just heard also, the guy who hosts the show claimed that Kirsty admitted to him on the phone that she did throw the object.
Okay.
But she said, this is what he says, that she was like, I was tired of them not capturing what was happening on camera, and I wanted some form of physical evidence so people believed us. So I was just doing that so people would know that we weren't faking it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense that somebody would do that, but also like, yes, that does kill your credibility. Like the
Right.
second you do something like that, it's like, oh, game over. It doesn't matter. Like you could just be lying about anything then.
Right.
That's why it sucks. Like when you're so frustrated like that and you want to do something like that and then you like do and then yeah.
But then the host goes, we later, like the next day, they tried to contact Kirsty to talk about the phone call. And she was like, what are you talking about? I never said that.
Okay.
And then she also said that in an interview with the guy who wrote the book, she was like, I don't even know what he's talking about. I never had that conversation with him.
Okay.
And maintains that story to this day.
Okay. I do think people are liars,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't know. I could also see myself being like, I live in terror and I want to trick.
That's the thing. In my opinion, if she did do that, it still wouldn't kill. It wouldn't kill her credibility to me, because I totally get why she would be like, you've been here for 2 weeks and you keep on not capturing the thing. So I just wanted the physical evidence. I wanted the proof, because
Yeah.
we've been living like this for so long, for 5 months, and I'm going crazy.
And also, you guys are experiencing it. You just haven't caught it on camera.
Exactly.
Once again, I can see it. I'm like, I do see how it does kill your credibility.
Right. And it did.
Yeah.
Very much so. It caused a lot of harm to the story, because literally once they released that, people were like, oh, everything is fake.
Yeah.
From beginning to end, nothing was real. This whole thing was bullshit. But literally right after that was filmed, the camera crew was being interviewed, and multiple different people, like 3 or 4 different people said, yeah, I know what we captured and what we think we saw in the glass, but I experienced things that didn't make any sense. Like, how was I walking in a room by myself and pebbles were falling from a ceiling where there's nothing above me?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, that incident, okay, then we'll take that incident out of contention altogether.
Yeah.
And I think that there's still enough evidence.
It just doesn't make sense to me. All the witnesses,
there's something weird going on.
The 3 priests, the whole camera crew, multiple other people that were coming in, investigating, journalists, like all of these people experienced something that didn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
I just don't see how this whole thing could have been faked.
No, I agree with you. Yeah. I see why it's
very controversial.
I see both sides. Like, I see why it's controversial, but like also me, I'm like always like, okay, you know what? I'm willing to like defer and give the benefit of the doubt to the people who experienced the fucked up thing.
Also, the TV show had like those thermal cameras where you can see the heat on things, and so when you touch an object, the thermal camera would see fingerprints that caused heat to the object.
It picks up on the transferred heat. Yeah.
And they took pictures or videos of multiple different objects that had just been thrown at them, and the whole thing was covered in heat.
Got it. Okay.
There was no fingerprints.
Yeah, it's like it was like being held by something very hot.
And they literally said the only way this could have happened is if they literally had just put this in a hot oven and immediately taken it out and thrown it. And this is what they were saying. They were like, well, maybe they took tongs and took it out of the oven and then threw it with the tongs. That makes no fucking sense.
Also, you wouldn't notice that the oven's on all the time?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, that, I get that they were trying to debunk everything, but it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and like, respect, I get it. Like, you want to go in with a skeptical mind so you don't get tricked.
Yeah. But also, if this was completely fake, why the fuck would Kirsty, if let's say she was the sole person doing this, why would she risk the possibility of hitting her own baby with a knife? Because knives were literally falling from the ceiling.
That's very true.
You know, like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So aside from the idea of it being an actual poltergeist or it being a hoax, another big theory is that there was just something specifically attached to Kirsty herself. Apparently, Andrew and Kirsty, they worked for a construction company together. And once Kirsty got the job at this construction company and started working there, things would go missing. Tools would be found in places that people claimed they hadn't put them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess things also would happen in their old home where they would be moved around all the time and they couldn't find anything. But they never really thought anything of it until this experience. And that's when they kind of connected the two things together and were like,
got it. Okay.
Either Kirsty is being followed by something, or one of the priests even put out the theory that she could be like a medium and not know it and be doing things
Attracting
with her mind.
things, yeah.
So like I said, this is definitely something that is a 50-50 split on believability. Pretty much everyone that doesn't believe is because they saw this footage from the TV show and they're like, oh yeah, obviously she threw the footage. And then people on the YouTube for the TV show, they're like, yeah, they probably just like glued or taped the rocks to the ceiling fan and then turned the ceiling fan on and had them spray around the room. But so many of the witnesses said that they just fell straight down.
Yeah.
And there was no fan above their head.
They were alone in the room.
And they were alone. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. People are crazy, but also like unexplainable things happen. So I don't know.
I really don't know. I am inclined to obviously believe them.
Yeah.
After the show came out, the landlord saw it.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they love that.
Took the house guests to court for all the damages that were done to the home.
After they were like, why would we damage the home like this?
Yeah. And he literally took them to court and he was like, you guys have to fucking pay for everything you damaged. Like, this was you. And he ended up losing because the judge believed that it was a poltergeist and that they had nothing to do with it.
Okay. There you go. Judge said it, not us.
So everyone immediately ended up moving out of the house. And that home today is basically abandoned. It's overgrown with weeds. And apparently it is also partly burnt because it was burnt down in a fire as well, which is also a poltergeist activity, just saying.
You know what? Put me in, coach. I want to go.
I'm just saying,
Let's go. Send us
I
there.
don't know.
Listen, sometimes you got to get your little weirdos out right after you die or right before you become corporeal. We don't know what's going
you
on.
never know. Anything could happen. Have you not been listening?
You not been listening? We
Literally this entire episode.
We've said it so many times. Literally anything could happen.
Literally listen to us.
Is that what you need to know? That anything could happen? Because it could.
It literally could. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Burr.
Well,
thanks for sharing that, Patrick.
you're welcome.
I'm gonna say I believe them 80%. Is that fair?
I believe them a little more than 80%. Like because in my mind, the fact that Kirsty said, yes, I threw it, right? Even though she took it back. But let's say she said, yes, I threw it because you guys were here for 2 fucking weeks and weren't capturing anything. And I just want people to believe us. Like that to me almost is more believable. I feel like. Because she could have just lied immediately.
Yeah, but that's like a classic like liar technique to be like, I'm gonna give a little bit of the truth.
I mean, I would be frustrated too if someone was monitoring me for 2 weeks and they kept missing the fucking thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's super frustrating. That's why I'm giving them the 80%.
Yeah. No, yeah. I know. It's controversial. So
it is.
People in Australia, I know if you know this one, let me know.
We have so many people in Australia on our Patreon. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah, I'm very curious. Yeah.
Just don't yell at us.
Why would they yell at me? I'm just retelling a story.
Amanda's very sensitive.
I'm retelling a story that is literally on the internet.
I'm saying don't yell at us because like if people are like, it's so fake.
Oh, yeah, don't yell at me.
Why?
Because this is Halloween.
Why did you think I was gonna?
I thought you were just saying for me telling the story.
And we're going to finish this with a listener story from
Let's do it.
Tanya.
Hi, Tanya.
Tanya is one of our cool kids.
Yay.
And Tanya says, hi, ladies. I would like to say that English is not my first language. Therefore, apologies if anything is wrong. Already using perfect grammar.
Where are you from?
Tanya, you're doing great. I am not sure if this is a listener story or not, but you are the only ones that I can tell. I never had any kind of ghost encounter, even though I have lost some loved ones. Over the last few weeks, I encountered a ghost kitty in my dining room.
Stop, I'm going to cry.
At least once a week, I see a cat out of the corner of my eye. Only the back legs and the tail. It always walks out of the door into the hallway. At first, I thought it was one of my cats, but both of my boys are sleeping peacefully in the dining room. None of my former cats have died in this apartment, so I'm not sure where it is coming from. As I never had an encounter like this, I am not sure what to think of it. I do have 2 ideas. 1, I might be losing my mind, which is definitely an option. Or, and this option is the one that really scares me, my older cat is very sick. A few months ago, the vet told me that he might have lymphoma and he's already 12 years old. So I'm not willing to torture him with a big surgery or chemotherapy. And we will just enjoy the days, months, or hopefully years that we have left. But if not, I'm wondering whether this might be his guardian waiting to take him to the other side. I hope I still have a lot of time left with him because he is the bestest boy there is, and I would miss him dearly. Please wish Loki all the best and a long life. I hope this all made sense, and if you are able to answer the question, what it is, you are the best. I love your podcast and hope you will never stop. Cheers, Tanya.
I'm too pink to cry. This is not good.
At least it's at the end, so you can mess up your pink makeup.
Dang. As someone who tragically lost their 13-year-old kitty way before they thought they were going to, it just really, I don't know. I feel like maybe it's just, maybe she said, or Tanya said they had cats before, these cats. So it doesn't need to be a cat that died in the apartment.
Yeah, that's true. They just could be coming to
another
visit
one.
You. Yeah.
Of your old cats, let's say, coming to visit. I don't like the idea of an omen of death.
Not an omen, just like a little guardian to help Loki move on if they need to. You're also doing the right thing by not giving your cat chemotherapy and putting them through surgery. Like, especially older cats, like all it does is confuse them and make them sick. And like, you're doing the right thing by just letting them chill until they're in pain. Like that is definitely the right way to do
I
it,
literally
in my opinion.
had to do this exact same thing where they told me I could put my cat through surgery and it would most likely extend his life for years. But they said putting a 13-year-old cat through this surgery is really draining and could be, it could not work. And I didn't want to put my cat through that.
Well, and also sometimes it does like quote unquote help them the way that they say that it's supposed to, but then it changes the whole cat's personality.
Yeah.
Like they become like a totally different cat, and like that's also not worth it. Or like they can't go in the litter box anymore. Like all sorts, because like it's traumatic, and
it is.
they literally can't understand what's going on. So thank you for taking that into account and like taking care of your cat the way that they deserve. And I hope Loki has many, many years. There are tons of animals that live with cancer and all sorts of things for literally years before it starts affecting their health. So I hope that's the case with you.
I also hope that's the case.
And I hope it's just a fun little friend coming to say hi.
Maybe it's my cat coming to say hi. Who knows?
Maybe. You don't know.
That'd be so fun.
Anything could happen.
If it was Erwin, just being like, hey, little buddy.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
As we like to say on this podcast.
But I hope Loki has many, many, many more years left to him. Sorry, I'm a little emotional.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Tanya. If you have a story you would like to share with us, you can do that at dtkpod.com/contact. You can also find our Patreon, our Instagram, our YouTube, all of that fun stuff. We'll have a bunch of pictures, videos, photos. It said pictures and photos. They're the same thing. Links and all that good stuff from today's episodes will be on all of our social media and also on our website.
Absolutely.
So make sure you go check that out. And most of all, make sure you keep that front door locked.
Guys, make sure you keep your mind open. I don't know what I keep telling you.
You gotta do it.
You gotta.
And keep drinking the Kool-Aid.